Glaucus, the sailor from Euboea, had left behind him the towering Mount Etna, where the giant Enceladus lay trapped, and the lands of the Cyclopes, who knew not of farming or the plough, relying not on oxen. He had also passed by Zancle and the opposing walls of Rhegium, navigating the treacherous seas that bordered the lands of Italy and Sicily. Swimming through the Tyrrhenian waters with his mighty hands, Glaucus reached the grassy hills and the abode of Circe, daughter of the sun, where wild beasts roamed freely. Upon seeing Circe, Glaucus pleaded with her, saying, "Goddess, have mercy on me, a fellow deity. Only you, with your knowledge of herbs, can ease my suffering. I, who have been transformed by their power, am tormented by love. Scylla, whom I saw on the shores of Italy opposite the walls of Messina, has spurned my advances despite my promises and pleadings. If you possess the power of enchantment, use it. If certain herbs are more potent, employ their magic. I do not seek a cure. Let the flames of love endure, but let Scylla share in them." Circe, perhaps influenced by her own desires or by Aphrodite's wrath at her father's revelations, responded, "You will find greater success with one who reciprocates your feelings and desires. You are worthy of such love, and it should be freely given. If you offer hope, you will be loved in return. Behold, I, a goddess and daughter of the radiant sun, offer myself to you. Reject those who reject you. Reciprocate the love of those who love you, thus exacting vengeance upon two individuals with one act." Glaucus responded defiantly, declaring, "Sooner shall foliage sprout in the depths of the ocean and seaweed adorn the mountain peaks than my love for Scylla shall waver while she yet lives." This angered the goddess, Circe, who, unable to harm him due to her love for him, grew furious at being spurned for another. Enraged by these romantic setbacks, she gathered vile herbs known for their dark powers and mixed them with incantations invoking Hecate. Clad in azure robes, she emerged from her hall amidst her loyal beasts and headed towards Rhegium, opposite the cliffs of Zancle, where the tides churned. Walking upon the waves as if they were solid ground, she reached a bay favored by Scylla, a retreat from the sea and sun where she sought shade at noon. Circe had already tainted this bay with her potion, sprinkling it with the distillations of poisonous roots and chanting spells 9 times thrice over. When Scylla arrived, wading into the water up to her waist, she saw monstrous creatures sprouting from her loins. Initially mistaking them for external entities, she fled in terror, only to find that those she fled from clung to her still. As she inspected her body, she discovered Cerberus-like jaws replacing her thighs, legs, and feet, while savage beasts lurked beneath her groin, attached to her by their backs. Glaucus, still devoted to Scylla, lamented her fate and rejected any alliance with Circe, who had used her herbs in such a hostile manner. Scylla remained in that place, eventually becoming a threat to Odysseus and his companions. Later, she would have endangered the ships of the Trojans as well, had she not been transformed into a rocky outcrop, which sailors still avoid to this day. After navigating past Scylla and the voracious Charybdis, the Trojan ships, propelled by the winds, found themselves once more near the shores of Libya. There, Dido, the Sidonian queen, unable to bear the loss of her Phrygian husband, welcomed Æneas into her home and heart. Deceived by false promises, she ended her life on a funeral pyre, deceived as she had deceived others. Æneas, fleeing from the newly erected walls of Carthage, returned to the realm of Eryx and the hospitable Acestes. He honored his father's tomb with sacrifices before setting sail again, despite the damage inflicted by Iris, Hera's messenger. He passed by the kingdom of King Hippotas' son, the land with sulphurous fumes, and left behind the dangerous Sirens' rocks. As the ship sailed on, lacking its pilot, it skirted past Inarime, Procida, and the barren hill of Pithecusae, inhabited by a tribe once transformed by the father of the gods. These Cercopians, known for their deceit and treachery, were punished by being turned into hideous creatures resembling men, but with contracted limbs, flattened noses, and wrinkled faces. Stripped of their ability to speak, they could only communicate through harsh jabbering, serving as a reminder of their past transgressions. After passing by these landmarks, Æneas, sailing past the walls of Parthenope on his right and the tomb of the son of Aeolus on his left, reached the shores of Cumae. There, amidst marshy lands and the cave of the ageless Sibyl, he beseeched her to guide him through Avernus to visit the spirit of his father. The Sibyl, with her gaze fixed on the ground for a long moment, finally spoke, assuring Æneas that his request would be granted. She promised to lead him to the realms of Elysium, where he would reunite with his beloved father's shade, affirming that no path is closed to virtue. She then directed Æneas to pluck a branch glowing with gold from the woods of Avernus, which he obediently did. Through this branch, he witnessed the power of the dreaded underworld, encountered his ancestors, and spoke with the venerable spirit of Anchises, learning of future perils and the fate of his descendants. As they retraced their steps, Æneas expressed his gratitude to the Cumaean prophetess, pledging to honor her as a deity and build a temple in her name. Moved by his words, the Sibyl sighed deeply and confessed that she was neither goddess nor mortal deserving of such reverence. She revealed that Apollo had once offered her eternal life in exchange for her virginity, but she had chosen instead to live as she was, resulting in a long but finite life. She lamented her impending old age and the inevitable decline of her once vigorous youth, resigned to a fate where she would be forgotten by all save her voice, which the fates would leave intact.